Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 96. The album that I'll be reviewing today is Kool Rap's solo debut album, 456, released in 1995. But before I want to start, I want to say rest in peace to Big Pun, J Dilla, and Noyd. The reason I mentioned them two is because all three of them three, I should say, excuse me, is because Big Pun, he passed away 15 years ago today on February 7th. J Dilla, because both him and Juxx were born on February 7th, so that's why I mentioned them three. So rest in peace to them. Normally I would have done a Big Pun review, but I did one on endangered species a couple years ago. 2 years ago today, on his endangered species compilation album that came out in 2001, and I still don't have Capital Punishment. I know. I've been like, it's like one of those albums that I know I'm gonna get eventually. I know it's an album I should have been had. I did hear the album; it's a classic. I will review that album someday. I just gotta get a copy of it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I did a review on the Endangered Species album. Check that out. It's Hip Hop Album Review Part 61, so definitely check that out. Just go on my channel, look for Hip Hop Album Review Part 61, and you'll see it there. But anyways, the reason why I'm gonna review this album today is because Kool Rap was Big Pun's biggest influence as far as his rapping style and just him as an artist. So that's why, like, I figured, like, yo, I just review this just to pay homage to Big Pun and, you know, Kool Rap himself. I'm just gonna say this: Kool Rap is my favorite MC of all time. He's my favorite. You know what I'm saying? I have a couple others too, but Kool Rap definitely like tops them all in my opinion. You know, he's definitely one of the most influential MCs of all time. But people don't really give him credit. So, but enough for that. I'm gonna get to who. For those that don't know who Kool Rap is, believe it or not, there are people that really don't know who Kool Rap is. Kool Rap, he's an MC from East Elmhurst, Queens, which is like Corona. You know, he got his start back in the mid '80s, particularly like 1986. He got put on by Marley Marl. He got put on, stuff like that. You know, he got founded by, DJ Polo founded him, and then I guess DJ Polo knew Marley Marl, and they recorded a demo called "It's a Demo," and that's what really got him. That's what really got him like noticed and stuff like that. And Marley Marl at the time had a crew called the Juxx crew, which consisted of Kool Rap himself, Craig G, Master Ace, Big Daddy Kane, Roxanne Shante. I believe that was it. And he had like other affiliates like Tragedy Gaddafi, the Real Roxanne, you know, stuff like that. No, not this, excuse me. Real Roxanne, she was affiliated with like Chubb Rock and them. Kool Rap, Master Ace, obviously Marley Marl, Big Daddy Kane, Craig G, and MC Shan too. Forgot, how could I forget that? Yeah, so those six, and including Marley Marl, obviously. Gotta start with them, you know, and then they put out, and then, you know, the Juxx, Marley Marl put out an album called In Control Volume 1, which I do have in my collection. Classic album. I have to do a review on that album too. And then, excuse me. And then in 1989, Kool Rap and DJ Polo released their first album called Road to the Riches, which was released in '89. I don't have it in my collection because that album is actually out of print and hard to come by. I'm still trying to get my hands on that shit. They even came out with a re-release version. They even came Traffic Entertainment, which is a record label, which have the rights to all the Cold Chillin' Records rights, like all the masterings and the publishings, because Cold Chillin' Records went out of business, and then Traffic Entertainment, you know, got all the rights and stuff like that. So they put out, you know, like they could put out any albums by, you know, anybody that was under Cold Chillin' Records. But anyway, enough for that. Traffic Entertainment came out with, they re-released Road to Riches, but that shit went out of print as well. That shit came out like a couple years ago, the re-release version, and that shit went out of print like that. So that was 1989. Then in 1990, they came out with their second album, Wonder Dead or Alive, released in 1990. That's another album I don't have in my collection, which is hard to come by. In my opinion, out of the three that they came out with together, I feel like Wonder Dead or Alive was their best album. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. Just love that album. That album is so dark, and not dark, but it's just like so street and gritty. And then 2 years later, they came out with Live, Let and Die, and that was the last album they put out. Sorry about that. Yeah. Then in 1992, they came out with the last one that they put out together, called Live and Let Die, which was released in 1992. At first, a lot of people had mixed reviews on that album because of the sound of the album, the soundscape, and the reason being is because there was two major producers that made the whole album pretty much as far as production, and that was Sir Juxx, who was Ice Cube's producer, and I believe that was his cousin too. I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know somebody in the description, I know somebody in the comment section will do that, but he was Ice Cube's producer at one point, and then excuse me, and then Trackmasters, Poke and Tone. You know, they did like majority of the album, Sir Juxx as well. So that's why the album kind of had like a West Coast vibe to it. As far as like not like G-Funk, but like beats that Ice Cube would have rapped over back in the day, or like, you know, somebody like the Lunch Mob or anybody like that, or Threat, and shit like that. So when it first came out, I had like mixed reviews, but then over time, like, people started liking the album. People really like that album a lot. People like to say like that's their best album together. Me personally, like I said, I think Wonder Dead or Alive was their best album. You know what I'm saying? And then like by like 1993, they broke up. You know, they went on to do different things. Kool, he obviously continued on with his career. DJ Polo, I don't know what he's doing right now. But Kool, he's still doing his thing to this day. And then in 1995, fast forward to 1995, we put this album out. All right, you know how I get down. Let me show you guys what the album looks like. Let me get some water first. Excuse me. All right, that's what the album looks like. You see Kool here. Then you see a young Nas. Then over here you see Akinelli. I don't know who this guy is, but I like this picture. It's pretty dope. You see the back here. You can see like no drugs, no guns, please. You can see like this is like kind of like an illegal gambling spot and shit like that. It's pretty dope. Kind of sets the tone of the album too, which I'll get to in a minute. That's what the album looks like. Red CD with a big G. Open it up. You see like the CeeLo, you see like the dice and the dollar bill. I mean $100 bill. You know what I'm saying? So then you, like I said, you see Kool's rapping his crew. You know what I'm saying? Just doing their thing. As you can see in the back, you just see like dices and shit like that. Pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Then you see the, you know, the $100 bills. Then you see and you see like the album credits. You see Kool rap right here. I'm pretty sure a lot of people seen this. A lot of people seen this picture before. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's where the picture came from this album. See Kool rap right here, chilling right here, sporting the ill ass, you know, North Face. You know what I mean? Fucking love North Face. It's just so damn expensive. You know what I'm saying? All right. It's 11 tracks. Singles off this album. There's 2 singles. Realistically, I would put 3, which is like an unofficial album single. And I was gonna say it was gonna be Taking the War, and I'll explain why, and later on in the review. All right, singles off this album. There's 2 singles. It's a Shame, and Fast Life featuring Nas. All right. Producers on the album. Dr. Butcher. Shout out to Dr. Butcher. He's a dope producer. Naughty Shorts. I think this is the same Naughty Shorts that produced for Capone and Noriega on their first album, The War Report, which I fucking love that album. I have to do a review on that too. Dr. Butcher, like I said before, Naughty Shorts, T-Ray, shout out to T-Ray, dope producer. T-Ray again. Buck Wild, shout out to Buck Wild. Yeah, Buck Wild again. Naughty Shorts. And Dr. Butcher. Alright? So, features on the album. The features on the album are B1. Shout out to B1, dope MC, underground MC from Queens. For those who don't know who B1 is, he is an MC from Queens, from Jamaica, Queens. He was under Kool Rap at one point. He put out, all my underground heads might know about this, but I believe he was on the first Sound Bombing album that came out in '97. I forgot the name of the song that he put on, but he was actually on that album, if I'm not mistaken. And he put out a single called Verbal Affairs. Fucking love, that's a classic underground track. But anyways, getting back to the songs, to the features, MF Grimm, but he's known as Grimm here. Who else? Nas for the Fast Life. And that's it. Those are the only features on the album. Yeah, those are the only features on the album, which are, like I said, B1, MF Grimm, and Nas. Right? You know how I get down. I'm gonna go through some of the tracks. You know, just break down some of the tracks. All right. Track 1 is the intro. Dope intro. You just hear Kool rapping his boys, playing CeeLo in the background and shit like that. Just saying like, "Oh, you losing your money? Haha." Yo, where's that $100 you owe me and some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sets the tone of the album. All right, that's a dope That's a dope intro. Track 2, 456. Fucking love that track. It sets the tone of the album. Just like production wise, just sets the tone of the album. It's just like I just love how dark that song is, man. Like, uses a sample which I'm not gonna name, but you know, everybody's used that sample, especially back in the 90s. Very popular sample. But yeah, in this song 456, he just talks about playing CeeLo. It just talks about what goes on when you play CeeLo and shit like that. It's pretty dope. Like, you could feel like you're inside a gambling spot, like just them niggas. Like, you see a whole bunch of cats just circling around each other, just playing CeeLo. You see like money on the ground. I just see, like, when I used to live in Queens, like, I just see niggas on the block just playing CeeLo and shit like that. You know, just niggas would just go on for the whole night. You know what I'm saying? Until in the morning time. You know what I'm saying? So it's serious, man. It's some real shit. Like, niggas get killed over that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But yeah, 456. Fucking love that song. Sets the tone of the album. Track 3, It's a Shame. I believe that's the first. Excuse me. It's the first single off the album. There's a video for that, which I'll post down in the description box. When I first heard this song, I didn't like this song. I'm not gonna lie to you. But over the years, just listening to it, I do like it. I do have an appreciation to the song. It's actually a pretty dope track. It's just mainly because of the beat. I didn't like the beat at first, but I guess because to me it felt too laid back for Kool Rap. But that type of beat is perfect for Kool Rap. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, has a laid back, but you just spit that gangster shit. But pretty much, It's a Shame is talking about how just living a fast life. Just getting like materialistic things, just drinking, expensive champagne and stuff like that. Just living lavish. But in the chorus, it talks about it's a shame what I gotta do what you gotta do to get $1. In this game, it makes you wanna holler, and then that's pretty much the chorus, and that's some real shit because it talks about how like niggas that live in the game, like just living a fast life, what are you doing, like illegal activities and shit like that, which is pretty much what it is. What is like drug dealing, hustling, killing niggas to get money and shit like that. It's just talks about the ills, like how like living this fast life shit doesn't last long. You won't last long living this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just you might think you getting like all the girls, all the money, all the cars, fast cars and stuff like that, but deep down, but in the long run, it's gonna catch up to you and it's gonna bite you in the ass, and that's pretty much what he's talking about. So I kind of consider that kind of like a conscious track in a sense. It's braggadocious, but it's conscious at the same time. It's just go back to what I was saying about when I did the Ice-T Power album review, which I did a couple of days ago. Check that joint out, where he talks about that. It talks about living a lavish lifestyle, like in the song High Rollers, which I was talking about how he's kind of bigging up the high rollers and drugs and hustlers, the drug dealers and hustlers, but living that lifestyle is very dangerous, and you always have to watch your back, and you got a lot of haters and shit like that. And that's pretty much what he talks about in the song. It's a shame. Alright, that's enough of that. Track 4, Take 'Em to War, featuring B1 and MF Grimm. Fucking love that song. That song right there is so ill. Interesting story about that song. That was actually supposed to be a single, and they were supposed to have a video for that song. But what ended up happening was MF Grimm, shout out to my dude MF Grimm, he at the time, like around 93, 94, he was actually doing a drug deal, but it was a drug deal gone bad, and then he got shot, you know what I mean, and to the point where like it left him paralyzed to this day, and to the point like where he was deaf at one point, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he was deaf and he was paralyzed, and to this day he's paralyzed, and so that's why the video never came to fruition. So excuse me, which sucks, but that would have been a dope video. I could just imagine it. But it's a dope posse cut, you know what I mean, with them three, Kool Rap, MF Grimm, and B1. Excuse me. Alright. Yeah, so yes, enough for that. Yeah, so Take 'Em to War, fucking love that track. Dope track. Track 5, Executioner Style. Self-explanatory, shooting niggas in executioner style, like right to the head, blow. He's just talking about, that gangster shit, you know what I'm saying? Just killing niggas, shooting them in the head, you know what I'm saying? Just like, I love the beat for that shit, man. Like, that's a very dope track, very dark. I love the drums on the song. Like that whole everything about that track is so ill. Like just like the just the whole vibe of it. You could just like imagine like being like midnight, you see Kool Rap with a gun, just like trying to plan a hit on somebody like in the alleyway, you know what I'm saying, just pulling them to the alley, just shooting them nigga in the blow, shoot him in the head. That's a vibe I get from that joint too. Fuck it, that's like one of the best songs off the album in my opinion. Track 6, For the Brothers. That's a pretty dope track, very heartfelt. Pretty much talks about two people that he knew. In the first verse, it talks about this teenager that he knew back in the day. That he was pretty much a good kid, but that kid kind of fell victim to the streets, where like he had dreams of being playing in the NBA, being a basketball player, but then he got attracted to the street life, and then like he just started doing dirt and stuff like that, and it caught up to him, and he died when he was 17 years old, and that's the first verse. Second verse, the same thing. But it was a dude named K Vaughn, some dude that he knew from back in the day, like some um, but his dude that he used to do dirt with back in the day, Coogee Rap, and he died due to the streets too. So that's pretty much like a conscious track too, and it's sort of about like yo, pretty much saying like this street shit is not worth your life. You know what I mean? Like it might be enticing, might look fun and all that stuff, but it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? That's what I got from that track, and that's a pretty dope track. Dope beat too. Track 7, Blowing Up in the World. That was produced by Buck Wild. That should have been a single in my opinion. Fucking love that track. To me, Buck Wild flipped that sample the best. Is a very known jazz track, jazz R&B type of track. Came out back in the late '70s, which I'm not gonna name the sample. You guys, I'm pretty sure when you hear that sample, like you've heard that before. But anyways, yeah, he does his thing on that track. It's pretty much like an autobiography of Coogee Rap. He talks about how he grew up in the streets, grew up in the hood. He grew up poor, had nothing going on. Like he didn't really have shit going into his name. He didn't even have a pot to piss in. Yeah, there was a line where he says like how they couldn't even afford color TV. Like they only could watch like black and white TV, and they had to fix like the the rabbit ears and shit like that. It was really shit. It's a shit that some people could relate to. You know what I'm saying? And then he talks about how he met DJ Polo and Marley Marl and how he got started. It's pretty dope. I like that track. Like I said, that should have been a single in my opinion. Track 8, Fast Life featuring Nas. Pretty dope track. Dope duet track. They all do their things. It's a shame type of track. You know what I mean? Just niggas living a fast life. Just glamorizing that shit. You know what I mean? They all do their thing. It's a dope video too. Like in the video, you see like Coogee Rap like on a treadmill in the mansion and shit like that. He's on the phone with Nas, and it's pretty dope. I like that. It's pretty dope. They have a dope chemistry. I just wish Coogee Rap and Nas made an album together, especially with Nas. When Nas first started, he got compared to Coogee Rap, which is why he didn't get signed to Def Jam, which to me is a blessing because I feel like if he signed with Def Jam, which he did years later, but back then, I doubt his career would have been where it is today. I doubt he would have made the impact that he did today. That's just my opinion. Yeah, track 8, Fast Life, pretty dope track. Track 9, Ghetto Knows, fucking love that track. That song, Ghetto Knows, it's self-explanatory. It just talks about the ills of the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Just watch it back when you go to the hood. Just to what you expect to see when you go into the hood. You see dead bodies, niggas doing dirt, niggas getting robbed, prostitution, all that shit. That's what you're gonna get with the ghetto, and that's what he talks about what Ghetto Knows. Track 10 is It's a Shame. The Butcher mix, it's just a remix to It's a Shame. I prefer the original It's a Shame. The beat I could have done without. I didn't like the beat, you know what I'm saying? I thought they could have removed that song, put another song with that. And track 11, Money on My Brain, was just self-explanatory. It's a posse cut with B1 and MF Grimm. They meet again to say so to speak. I could have done without that song. I mean, it's a dope track because it's sort of about anything they will do to get money. Whether it's to steal niggas, steal from people, kill people and stuff like that. But I feel like the beat didn't really fit the subject matter, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I could have done without that beat. I just wish she would have done a more darker track, you know what I mean? And that's pretty much it, man. That's the album review. Like I said, this is a classic album. This is an underrated album. It's just a shame because a lot of people don't really talk about. They rarely mention this album when they talk about classic hip hop albums of the '90s. Definitely one of the best albums to come out in '95. Fucking love this album. This is a very, very dope album. This is actually the first time I caught from Coogee Rap, so very, very. It's definitely iconic album in my opinion. But like I said, this is the last album that was released by Cold Chillin'. and by 1997 they went out of business, and then Cold Chillin picked them up, and no, not Cold Chillin, excuse me, Traffic Entertainment picked them up and bought the rights from Cold Chillin, and that's why you got they could release certain albums and stuff like that. Yeah, man. And this was also under Epic Records. They had a subsidiary record label called Epic Street, which they only came out with 2 albums, which were Granddaddy I Used second album, Lead Pipe, which I have to do a review on, and this one right here. And so that didn't really last long. And if I'm not mistaken, Epic Street actually came out with a compilation album too. They came out with a 12-inch, which was like a sampler, which I guess they had artists under that record label that didn't have albums, but they made songs for it and stuff like that. If I find like the link for that, I'll post it on the description box, and I'll post on links to that song. I mean, to some of the songs from that 12-inch. But yeah, man, I highly recommend this album a lot, man. Very, 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 very dope. Kool, like I said, to me, he's my favorite MC of all time. I have countless other MCs that I do like. That's my favorites, but Kool tops them all, in my opinion. But yeah, man, love this album. I highly recommend it. So definitely check it out. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, Kool he's known for his multi-syllables delivery, which he does a lot with this album. Within all of his albums and stuff like that. Oh, forgot to mention too, Kool he also pioneered the whole mafia style of rapping, like where he would like big up like mafia gangsters and stuff like that. You know, just talk about John Gotti, you know, Lucky Luciano. He was the first to do that, and then you know Raekwon, he kind of like mastered that. He kind of like carried the torch with that, and he did it good. And a lot of people. Oh, and another thing with this album too, and like I said, getting back to the mafia style with Kool he was doing that a lot, especially on his earlier albums and during his later albums. Like, you know, with Road to the Riches, Wanted Dead or Alive, Live and Let Die, Roots of Evil, which I do have in my collection, which I have to do a review on, Giancarlo Stories, which I do have in my collection, which plays on Sam Giancarlo, who was a gangster from Chicago from back in the day. You know, countless others too, which a lot of people kind of like got annoyed with Kool was just saying like, oh, he's just too into the whole mafia style, you know. And but my thing is like, that's him, that's who he likes, that's what gave him his style, that's what like gave him his persona, that real gangster persona, you know what I mean? Kool is what he talks about, you know what I'm saying? He's that dude. Yeah, and like a lot of people had a lot of gripe with Kool because he's did that too much, but I noticed with this album he doesn't do that. He kind of talks really about the streets. He talked about the hood, you know, like the streets of New York. And with this album, you're gonna get that 1995 vibe. Like when you pop this in, you're gonna feel like you're in New York City back in 1995, and that's a great thing about this album. And that's it, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. Like I said, rest in peace to Big Pun, Jay Dilla, and Nujabes. Both significant artists in this genre. That February 7th is a significant date for those artists because, like I said, Big Pun died in February 7th, 2000, which was 15 years ago today. Nujabes and Jay Dilla were both born on February 7th. So, and my boy, happy birthday to my dude, Rob Regis, again of Zilla Nation, which is a group that I'm part of. It's his birthday today, so, and it just so happens those artists are his favorite artists too. So, especially Big Pun. So yeah, and that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. Peace. Stay tuned for more.